In the entertainment business, there's a problem that has no clean solution, and almost every act eventually hits it. How do you stop without ending? Momentum is the entire currency of fame. Stay away too long and the audience moves on, the algorithm forgets you, and the space you occupied closes behind you like water. Careers are littered with acts that took a break and discovered, on return, that the break had quietly become permanent. Now consider the hardest possible version of that problem. You are the biggest musical act on the planet. Your members are legally required to disappear for military service, one after another, for roughly 4 years total, right at your peak. You don't get to choose the timing, you don't get to soften it. This is Celebrity Radar. Contact confirmed. Let's track it. Start with the core strategic challenge because it defines everything. Mandatory military service in South Korea is not negotiable, and as BTS's members approached the age limit, enlistment became a matter of when, not if. That handed the group a problem with brutal constraints, a multi-year absence, largely outside their control, arriving at the exact moment a career is most dangerous to interrupt. The instinctive move for most acts would be to fight the gap, to try to stay constantly visible, to paper over the absence. BTS did close to the opposite, and that's the first strategic lesson worth logging. They reframed the break itself. Rather than treating the service as an interruption to hide, they positioned it as a chapter, a shared season the group would pass through openly and return from, framing the enlistments as a period rather than an ending. That framing did something clever. It converted an unavoidable weakness into a narrative of anticipation. The absence stopped being "where did they go?" and became "when do they come back?" Same gap, completely different emotional charge. One kills momentum, the other stores it. The second strategic layer, they kept the fan base activated without the band being present. Here's the radar read on why this comeback has so much force behind it. A 4-year absence should drain a fandom. This one didn't, and that's not an accident of luck. It's the payoff of years of infrastructure. BTS's audience, ARMY, is arguably the most organized fan network in entertainment, a global, self-coordinating community that runs campaigns, drives charitable efforts, and mobilizes across continents with striking efficiency. Critically, that community is built to sustain itself. It has its own culture, its own projects, its own momentum, independent of a constant stream of new material, which means that during the hiatus, the fandom didn't disperse. It maintained itself, waiting. The strategic insight for anyone watching: the most durable thing a public figure can build isn't constant output. It's a community that stays organized in your absence. BTS spent years before the break building an audience robust enough to survive the break. That's the actual asset. The music brings people in. The community keeps them there when the music pauses. Third, and most instructive, the restart itself is being run with visible discipline. Watch how this comeback rolls out because it's a case study in controlled information. The core is confirmed, new album, world tour, the return after roughly 4 years. But notice what isn't being dumped all at once: precise dates, full routing, complete creative direction. That information will arrive in deliberate stages. That's not slowness, that's strategy. A staggered rollout turns a single announcement into a months-long campaign, where each new detail, a date, a city list, a first single, becomes its own fresh news cycle. For an act returning from a long absence, this is exactly right. It rebuilds presence gradually, reoccupies the cultural space step by step, and lets anticipation compound rather than spending it all in one burst. The radar term for it is simple: they're not announcing a return, they're staging one. And there's a lesson in the timing of the return generally. Coming back requires reading the moment, whether the audience is ready, whether the space is open, whether the story lands. BTS is stepping back into an industry that has spent 4 years without a force of their scale in it. If the read is right, they're not re-entering a crowded field. They're filling a vacuum they left behind. That's the ideal condition for a comeback, and positioning for it is its own quiet skill. Now, the honest caveats, because Celebrity Radar tracks strategy without overstating certainty. What's confirmed is the return itself, the album, and the tour following the service-driven hiatus. The strategic reading above is analysis of a well-run rollout, not a claim that success is guaranteed. Because here's the genuine uncertainty: no strategy, however good, fully controls the outcome of a 4-year gap. Anticipation is sky-high, and this group's track record is extraordinary. But the market's actual verdict, the sales, the chart positions, the tour demand, only reveals itself when the product is real and the tickets are live. Strategy improves the odds, it doesn't settle them. Anyone declaring the comeback a triumph before the numbers exist is reading hope as fact, and this channel tries not to. What we can say is narrower and fair. The maneuver of pausing and restarting an act this large, this deliberately, is genuinely rare, and the industry will be watching how it lands. Here's where I'll leave you. Every act eventually faces the stop without ending problem, and most never solve it. BTS was handed the most extreme version of it imaginable, an unavoidable, multi-year, peak career absence, and turned it into a chapter break instead of a final page. Reframing the pause as anticipation, maintaining a fan base built to survive their absence, and staging the return with the discipline of a campaign rather than the desperation of a reunion. Whether it ends in record-shattering numbers is a question only the coming months answer, but the moves that got them to this week are already a template. The radar read is clear. This is how you pause the biggest band on Earth and turn the pause itself into the story. The comeback is confirmed. The masterclass is already in the books. If this kind of breakdown is your thing, our analysis of how the biggest acts manage their public image through absences, scandals, and reinventions is on your screen right now. The full series is linked in the description below. Subscribe to Celebrity Radar, tracking the moves behind the moments every week. And tell me in the comments, was the long, disciplined silence the right call, or should they have found ways to stay more present through it? There's a real strategic argument both ways. Make yours. See you on the radar.